Well, we are in week 2 of the high school football season in the state of Louisiana, and it's the Hash It Out Show game of the week. We are coming strong, and we got some good ones this week. This week's Friday night Hash It Out Show game of the week. It is the 2025 Railroad Classic between the St. James Wildcats and the West St. John Rams. We're here with the head coach of the West St. John Rams, Coach Derron Thomas. What's going on, Coach?
Good morning. How you doing? What's going on, man?
I'm good. I'm good, man. It's good to have you on and everything. And man, I tell you, you really had to work this program from the ground up. And so far it's been some success. And now you're in year 3, and you're looking for bigger and better things for your squad.
Yeah, we are. We put a lot of work in. We're still not ultimately where we want to be at, but we're taking it day by day, step by step, and one game at a time. So yeah, we're just building up, and trying to trending on an upward trajectory going through the remainder of this beginning part of the season. We have a tough stretch that we're in, but we're ready for it, and just keep on going along what comes with that.
Last week had a home a very interesting home opener against young audiences that went down to the wire and everything. Can you tell us your thoughts on the game, and also what you seen that was good and what you seen that could, little adjustments here and there for your team?
Well, first thing first, Young Garden, that's a good football team. Those kids, they got some guys on that team, have some D1 offers. They can really play. We were winning at 18 points at halftime. We were up 32-14. We didn't do a good job finishing. We didn't score in the second half. They chipped away at us. We had a couple of balls didn't go our way in the second half, and it ultimately cost us. So we regrouped. We rebuilt from that. The kids understand the assignment. The coaches understand the assignment. But yeah, that was definitely a game that we had in our hands, but we didn't finish. So that's our goal going into this week: finishing every rep, every play, every quarter, every assignment, and we'll end with better results.
There you have a lot of experience back on both sides of the ball. Can you tell us a bit what we're expecting offensively from your team? And I know the chemistry hadn't got much better from last season to this season.
Yeah, offensively, we have some guys. I have running back Hill and Gardner, sophomore. He's a real special talent. He had a solid game last week, but we're pushing him for more. He had over 100 yards, but my goal in him is I need over 200 yards. So that's one of my kids, Chance Bober. He's a two-way guy. He made first team All-State as a free safety, but he's also probably our best receiver as well. But then we have two offensive weapons who are a variety of different things. You have Ashton Barnes. You have Jace Farnell, who was a quarterback last year. Well, now he's a Swiss Army knife, but he'll play receiver, defensive back, quarterback. He's the punter. He's the long snapper. He's the kicker. Pretty much anything that we need from Jace. So he's on the offensive side as well as on the defensive side. Just gives us more versatility. And then we have Jakari Milton. Jakari Milton scored 3 touchdowns last Friday. So he had a real strong game. Told him we're going to need that same type of performance going into this week. Up front, I have two young sophomores who are really stepping up to the plate. I have 3 seniors, and 2 of them, those guys go both ways. But my 2 sophomores, Aubrey White and Pierre Barre, those 2 guys are really stepping the game up, and they're starting to get that physicality that we want up front at the O-line position. They're really starting to exemplify that. So I'm excited for what those 2 guys bring to the table as well on offense. And then defensively, like I said, Chance Bover, he's a first team All-State guy. You have Zakarin Howard, he's one of our team captains. He's a 2-time All-District guy. He's been playing pretty well as well. Got Kiwan 5 up front. Got a few different weapons. I got a guy, Ramon Ladders. He was injured. He didn't play last week. A few plays. We're trying to work him back in. He's finally back healthy. He's one of probably our top cover guy, cornerback. So we have him. Just a bunch of different guys. Man, we got on defense, we got 7 seniors. So it's a senior heavy team. I have a junior transfer, Zion Gilbo. He's a physical specimen. He's 6'3", 190. He's playing cornerback and safety, so he's really fitting into that role well. And we're just excited for what we have with the group. We just have to bring it all together and put out a good show this Friday.
Very much understandable. Your team, still have some two-way players, but at the same time, you're continuing to grow your roster. Roster's a little more bigger this year as well, and that was the goal we talked about a year ago, that you wanted to hopefully a 40 to 45 man roster. That's pretty much the goal, to have some kind of depth to your team, and it seems like you're starting to have depth to your team this season.
Yeah, we definitely do. We got 45 kids in the program. That's not including our eighth graders. If you add the eighth graders in, we're over 50. So, yeah, the numbers are growing. The kids are excited. We've rejuvenated the community as far as with expectation. With the kids as well, letting them know what it means to be a West St. John Ram, letting them know that for the greats that came before them, what expectation is here in Edgard. We're just not here just to play. We're here to win championships. That's what we do here at West St. John. We're one of the premier programs in the state, and just it's fun being on that journey, building back up towards where we once were. So I'm just excited for the growth and development of what the boys have for this season and for the upcoming seasons moving forward.
For a long time, West St. John, always been known for head coach Larry DuPont. But when he left, you had Robert Valdez, who stepped in and really maintained the ship that is West St. John. And then all of a sudden, when Coach Valdez moved on, Brandon Walters stepped in and did an unbelievable job maintaining it. Took a little bit, couple years back, but Coach Thomas, you've really taking over and getting the ship back to where it is right now. And I know you look up to those coaches more than anything else. And I know that's huge, that you're really getting that community back on where it used to be.
Yeah, I mean, for the guys that come before me being here, I appreciate everything that they did to kind of lead up to building where we're at right now. Some of the guys, my current seniors, they were with Coach Johnson in the regime before me. But even with that group, those were some pretty talented guys that the previous coach prior to me, Coach Greg Johnson, they got those guys in here, and it was a blessing for me to kind of walk in with some of those guys there and being able to build with them. And now with the years behind that group, the rest of those kids, they come from my regime, so they're fully in as far as what I want to do as a program and as an athletic director. Those kids are bought in. I'm just excited for just the growth and development, and now we're making it back where kids want to be here. So I'm having kids who, coming out of middle school, they want to be a Ram, so they're enrolling in school. We welcome them with open arms, and I'm just excited that we're able to get kids and get that excitement back where kids want to be at West St. John Ram now. Or again, if that makes.
That makes a lot of sense. And they, even some of the kids are probably children of former alumni and stuff like that, of former Rams that used to go to West St. John or play for West St. John, keeping the tradition and community alive.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, a lot of times me being from Edgar, both my family's here, all of my cousins are here as well. So the kids who I'm coaching, a lot of them, I grew up with their parents. Me and their parents went to school together. Me and their parents played ball together. Me and their parents grew up down Tiger together, or down Bonsiku together. But my grandparents. So just excited to. It's just a blessing to be able to coach those kids and mentor those kids and with the parents of the kids who I've grown up with, for our relationship to be now on that professional level of mentoring and coaching their kid versus as childhood friends and growing up to where now I'm in a different role, but it's good for me to be able to help and develop their kids, well, sons and daughters, because I'm the athletic director as well, so I'm responsible for all of the sports. But I really do appreciate being a community guy who has a personal, in-depth relationship with most of the kids who are here, especially the kids who are born and raised here in Edgard. I don't know all of their parents. At some point, we either grew up together, played sports together, went to school together at some point of our lives. So it's just a blessing to be able to be at home pouring into homegrown kids who just like me.
Let's talk a little bit about the matchup now against St. James coming up, the 2025 Railroad Classic. And it has just been always an event in the river parishes around St. James Parish and around St. John Parish. Um, West St. John looking for their first win against St. James since 2015, and it's been an intense type of rivalry, but a lot of times St. James has been on a winning end. But you guys, the way your team is built this year has something to say about it this year to possibly have a chance to put off a huge win.
Yeah, I mean, look, this what we've been building for. This what we've been working for. The moment is here now. Anything I told the guys yesterday, anything that happened Sunday, Saturday, or last week doesn't even matter anymore. The only thing that matters now is what we're going to do moving forward. We're having a good week. The guys are excited. We've addressed some of the things we needed to clean up. This is a good football team. Playing they played in Tuesday championships the past 2 years, so you can't. That's not going unnoticed. They have some good speed. They have some good talent, but so do we. So we're gonna come out and play ball, and it's a fight. It's a 12 round bout. I told my guys, we're gonna be ready to wear that. We had to go 6, 8 overtimes, but that's what it took to win. We're not laying down. We're gonna play ball. We excited. My coaching staff is excited, and we up to the test. We know what the assignment is, and we'll be ready for the assignment. We're ready to go Friday.
It's funny that these two teams has went at it for a very, very long time, and then all of a sudden they named this battle the Railroad Classic, and then all of a sudden at one point they called it the Albert Valdez Classic because a lot of the victories came from Coach Valdez on both ways. So I have never seen anything like that. But regardless of the fact, this game is a true event every year because of the fact of the atmosphere and the crowds for this game both ways, and it doesn't matter what the game is.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what it is. When you're from here, you're from St. James. This is LSU, Bama. This is Miami, Florida State. This is Ohio State, Michigan. This is that. This is that caliber of a rivalry. Is that intense of a rivalry from the players, from the coaches, from the fans. The fans are gonna be here. They're gonna be here in abundance. We're gonna have good food for them: chicken, fries, pastelaya, jambalaya, everything that they want, everything they come in here for. But we're also gonna give them a good football game. I expect to have. We're gonna compete. Those guys at St. James, they're gonna compete. They're coaching, they're doing everything in their power to be successful. But we're doing the same thing here too. We're really building our program the right way, and it's just another stepping stone to get to our ultimate goal we want to be, and that's in the Superdome in December.
I tell you, man, sound like to me that me and the crew is gonna have to get there for 3:30, 4 o'clock, just to get set up and everything. Because even just to beat the traffic, because I know West St. John is going to have a lot of people all over the place. They always tailgate. I know St. James people are going to be there too. So it's going to be a huge Friday and everything, and a lot of improvements going on in your stadium. A lot of big time improvements. New scoreboard, field redone, the visitor side, home side cleaned up, redone, all that stuff. It's big that the facilities are continuing to improve at West St. John.
Yeah, we're trying to upgrade everything. It's not just about sports; it's about academics. We want to upgrade that part as well and get it back to the days that we were. We wanted our top premier academic schools, so we're working rigorously to get that done. Administration wise have been helping a big support with that. That's at the school board level, at the school level. Everybody's in support of what we want to do. We're trying to run a championship program, academics and athletically. We just had a groundbreaking on a $4 million field house that's in the process of being built right now. That'll be ready for next season. So I'm excited for that. It's just big for the kids for some of the hard work that they've been putting in. They've been through a lot. We've had ups and downs here, and I'm just excited to be here to be part of the process as this is back on the rise. Because a lot of people, you can go into situations that are already set up, and you can kind of just ride along with the wave. But it feels more special when you're really building from the ground up, like you stated. And with me, with my group, with my kids, with my coaching staff, that's what we want. I tell them we coming from nothing. That's what we want, though. You know, our expectations, they went from low to high. So they're not talking about us in a negative the way they used to talk to us. But now let's just give them something to talk about in the positive. And they understand that. My captains, my leaders understand that. And just we're gonna give them what they come out to see. You know, when you come, you'll see we have major upgrades, brand new bathrooms and facilities, and like you said, school boards and field house. Even in the gym, we have brand new gym, flooring, gym floor, everything. You know, they're doing a lot of upgrades on campus, really a lot of upgrades and improvements. And it's all just to make our school better and make our school be comparable to the other schools that feel that they're one of the better schools, because we truly feel we're one of the top schools in Louisiana across the board. And we're not wavering from that. We, like I said, we know the assignment. I know what I signed up for when I took this job. I'm ready for that assignment, and our next, we got to go out here and play some ball on Friday. That's my only concern.
Completely understand. What would it mean? Last question. What would it mean to you in the community if this game goes 4 quarters and you guys are right there at the end and you guys pull it off and get the first victory at West St. John against St. James in 10 years? What would it mean to you and the community of West St. John?
I mean, it'll be good for the community. Like you say, it's been since 2015, our last win, and that's what we're here to change that. So that's what we're here to do. We're not laying down for nobody. We don't expect them to lay down. But we're gonna go out here and fight. You know, we're gonna fight. We give me everything we got. You know, we're not ducking no smoke. So we're gonna come out. We're gonna be preparing to get ready for this game. My community is preparing to be ready for this game. They're behind us, and I want my community to come out, show up early, come ready to party, ready to have a good time, ready to be excited, ready to be joyous. And in St. James, they're gonna bring their crowd. They're gonna come in the same exact way, but we more focused on us. You know, we're not going to, we don't too much, we don't get too much into what they got going on. We more focused on what we got going on. As long as we handle our part, we feel like we can line up and play football with anybody.
Coach Derron Thomas of the West St. John Rams. Is going to be interesting with yourself going against Coach Lavanta Davis and St. James, two very good coaches in this Roper Parish. Friday night, and it will be the Hash It Out Show Friday night game of the week. It'll be the St. James Wildcats, the West St. John Rams, the 2025 Railroad Classic. We're bringing it to you for the first time ever on the Hash It Out Show game of the week. It'll be 6:45 for our countdown to kickoff, 7 o'clock for the kickoff. Derron Thomas, we really appreciate it. I know you're going to be hooking us up with some of that good cooking on Friday, so we'll get there early enough and we'll be ready to go and have some fun.
All right, man. Thank you.